also Conor Bradley. We found another one. We found another one. we found another one. Yes, he's defensively better than Trent, but his attacking output is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Really helps. And even when Salah was coming on, and he was a little bit rusty when he came on, him helping Salah, especially with those 1-2 link-ups, really got Salah into the game. Like, it's been brilliant. But yeah, again, back to my point, the midfield combinations, Klopp just needs to get that right, and we'll be all right.
But Samuel, me and you have said many times, I know McAllister's come under criticism, especially this first part of the season, but once Endo came back from the Asian Games, I knew we would see this McAllister. Like I said already, I think he had to grow into this game because he looked a bit nervy at first. I think he was dispossessed about 3 or 4 times within the first half an hour, but then he grew into the game. But there's a player I want to shout out, right? Because we know Joe Gomez is playing very well at left back, but Andrew Robertson, for me, he was personally my man of the match today because he came back into the team as a seasoned veteran. He is one of our seniors, won it all, and that's the performance you need. He kind of set the tempo, he was up and down. I just want to give him a shout because personally, he was my man of the match. Yes, Salah and Nunez and whatnot will get the headlines, but I think Robbo's come back in and yeah, he stood up and was counted for. I think Robbo was excellent today.
Absolutely. Rex joined us as well now. Your thoughts on the performance today? A lot of people were tipping Liverpool to drop points, but you didn't just send a message. You made an absolute statement. You are currently 5 points clear of Man City. Emphatic, really.
Yeah, look, apart from the first 20 minutes, 15 minutes, we dominated the game. Brentford created a few little bits and pieces at the start. And look, we've struggled since Brentford have come up, and they've come from a long way. They've been brilliant against us, especially when at home. It's our first win there. They're usually very dangerous on set pieces, especially. Always give us trouble. I mean, we've never had a comfortable game there until today. And after about 20 minutes, I felt like we had control of the game. And especially in the second half, they didn't really do very much. They got the goal, obviously, but I think we were by far the better team. But yeah, look, obviously, they say every cloud has a silver lining. This is the opposite because despite the win, we've taken 2 injuries to potentially key players for us. And you're right, that does kind of put a bit of a dampener on things. But we're still there. We'll live to fight another day. We play Luton next, and then we've got the final. Win those 2 games, and hopefully, if we get a bit of luck, maybe Jota's injury isn't too bad. And but yeah, just like the other guys have said, I fear that it could be because just look at the injury Van Dijk had when against Everton. There wasn't that much movement in the knee, but you don't need that much movement. You just need enough. And and
he walked off the pitch and everything. And I remember people were like, yeah,
he walked off the pitch, and that's why Jota walking around in the tunnel and stuff doesn't necessarily mean anything. Just keep our fingers crossed. That's all we got to do.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. This here from PD, I think it's a rival, to be fair. He says, Brentford were absolute arse. Never seen such comical defending. Liverpool keep conceding chances and goals. It will hurt them at the end of the season.
Just in response to that, Terry, though, that's been us even at our pump. We will naturally concede chances because of the high line. That will happen. And it's just up to the other team whether they take their chances or not. And this is where we love Alisson, because a lot of times when the opposition go 1-on-1, I'm quite rest assured that 8 times out of 10, he's going to save it. Kelleher today, not even just today, the Burnley game last week with Datro Fofana, I think it was 1-1. If Datro goes through and scores that, the game could have been different. But Kelleher, I can't complain. He's 2 good saves today. And yeah, but we're always going to concede chances. The way we play is natural. That narrative's just a bit old now.
Listen, thank you for the super chat, but this is lazy analysis, especially for this game, because this game we controlled it. We controlled a lot of their counter attacks as well, especially with Van Dijk and Konate. Was just basically snuffing at passes. At Endo was just snuffing at passes. And for me, I don't know if you remember, boys. I remember when we were attacking, and there was these 1-2 passes that we were making. I was like, "Ooh, is this Liverpool playing football right now?"
Yeah. So it happened 2 or 3 times.
Exactly.
2 or 3 times.
Endo's really good at that. He plays the pass, but he also plays it into the right position so that it's on the person who's receiving it. It's on their good foot rather than having to reposition, because that can often is what slows the game down. Sometimes where you have to reposition yourself, set yourself, and then play another pass. He's playing in front of players, and I didn't have massive hopes for Endo, but just before he went to the Asian Games and since he's come back, he's been good, man. I think he's definitely helped us.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, look, I was someone that said a while ago, I don't think with the amount of chances Liverpool concede, they'll win the league. You guys are winning more points than I thought you were doing it. You're definitely in that title race. I still have City as the favourites, but it doesn't mean this Liverpool team isn't excellent. It doesn't mean Liverpool can't win the league. But as I say, if City lose today and you guys go 5 points clear, Liverpool become my favourites. So it's 5 points and then visiting Anfield. For me, I look at that and just think to myself, well, that's potentially 8 points. And then you shouldn't lose from that position, irrespective of the chances that you concede. And let's not pretend like City aren't conceding chances at the moment either. So it isn't as though Liverpool the only one of you three that isn't really conceding lots of chances is actually Arsenal in terms of being progressed on. But there's pros and cons to each team, I suppose.
But even talking, sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, even talking about that, I was going to say that I always said this after the Arsenal game. The Arsenal, I'm not taking anything away from them. They absolutely battered us. But that was generally a bad day at the office for Liverpool. Me seeing that again from Liverpool anytime soon, it's not going to happen. Especially with Liverpool with no intensity, Van Dijk and Alisson making a mistake, Konate getting a red card. That doesn't all happen in one game all the time with Liverpool.
It was an anomaly. Yeah,
exactly. It was an anomaly. Not taken away from Arsenal because they capitalised on it. But when I was celebrating against Burnley, even though the performance wasn't good, that's why I was so happy. Because you get a win out of something that was bad, and then you come up, and then you have a performance against Brentford. Momentum. Boom.
Yeah, I totally agree. This here from Vibes says, how was that not a penalty, Robbo, on Ivan Toney?
It was just outside they clearly showed it was just outside the box.
Or was it outside the box?
No, it was.
When he smashed
into the back.
I thought
that was touch and go, man. That was touch and go.
To be honest, that should have been a penalty, but we should have got a penalty as well. Where
I agree. I think both were penalties. I even think the Conor Bradley one was interesting as well because it doesn't meet the threshold for a penalty. If the attacker does that to Conor Bradley, you know it's a foul. I just don't like those. But yeah, I think that Tony should have had a penalty. But then I think you guys should have had a penalty at the end. What's his name? Is it Connors went to ground, catches the ankle of Diaz, and that makes it a foul. So yeah, I think there was 2 penalties in that game that should have been given that were not. Curran here says, Terry, remember I told you Nunez shut up mouths soon. He certainly has been. I know Liverpool fans. Liverpool fans at the game are definitely sold, and not everybody is. Jack here said, "Let's not get carried away." 3 of those goals were gifts from Brentford defenders.
Was it?
Sure, but we're not getting carried away because of that necessarily. We're getting carried away because we're top of the league, right? We're right in it. So
not even that,
Jack. I appreciate it. And we may not be there, but we got to enjoy it while we're there, right? What do you want to do? Like, just talk about the negatives.
It's as simple as this as well. 1 minute, Ram. It's as simple as this as well. Even if they were gifts, you still have to finish. You still have to wrap it. You can give them the gift, and you still have to wrap up the gift. So you still have to put it in the back of the net. So, and that's what we do, man. That's what we do, and that's the thing. This narrative this season, we've played well in some games, but there's been games we haven't played well. E.g., last week. And we will still win because of our firepower. That's just us, and long may it continue.
We're also getting carried away because of the fact that we've literally played a banana skin team, which a lot of people in the top 6 agreed with. It was going to be a potential problem. And we didn't just scrape past them. We obliterated them. 4-1. We were so comfortable. We were 3-0 up. If it weren't for our stupidity, we would have got a clean sheet. Like, I think people need to realize that this was a hard game that everyone was telling us, and we dominated them and in their own gaff. Like, message has been sent.
I think for me that the interesting element of this that I find just as a Man United fan watching is Liverpool fans are not like sitting in 5th and they're suddenly they've been a 5th and 6th and 7th place team for the last 10 years and they're on a good run of 3 or 4 games. This is a team that has been winning. and had been competing for some of the biggest trophies for the last 7 or 8 years, who are currently in great winning form. What is there not to be excited about? It would be of course, Liverpool fans should be excited here.
They mentioned the stat, and I couldn't believe it. And I know the lads probably picked up on it as well. When Liverpool have been leading at half time, we have not lost since 2016. I think it's 130 plus games we've won when leading at half time. That is
160
insane.
odd games. 160 odd games.
It was
around that. That's crazy. I think they were saying it was Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, we've got beat 4-3. Yeah,
that was Klopp's first full season. Yeah. So that's a crazy stat. Crazy.
Mate, no, it is. I mean, we had one the other when we played Man United goes back ridiculous. Two of that. We've got one. I think we go back to like 2015, home or away, leading at half time and going on to not lose. At Old Trafford, it goes back about 3 or 4 decades. So whenever we're playing a good team and one up at half time, I get genuinely nervous because this is don't want the record to go. But boys.